Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man who always thinks he can, a champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard streams for another edition of the Raw Rewind, presented to you by Pitts and Tires Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. Bro, catch a fire. Sorry. And you obviously can't have the Raw Rewind without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sarah. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Bro. Hello.
Hello. Have you seen
Hello.
what I was doing? Have you seen the Swerve Strickland Prince Nana dance?
Yes, I did see it.
I kind of want to do a TikTok. How for the peeps in the chat, would you like and share a video of me doing the Prince Nana? Bro, catch a fire.
No, we would not.
What is Swerve?
We wouldn't. No.
I love that song. So fucking catchy.
No, we wouldn't share it.
Oh, it's because we're WWE here. My bad. It's Raw. We had Raw last night. We're on the fast track to Fast Lane, but seeds are being planted. I was a big fan of this episode. Big fan.
Yeah, I think most people were. I was seeing a lot of people that were really pleased with how the show went last night. So that's good.
It was
compared to a week ago where we were kind of like,
Yeah. This week was I've already kind of alluded to it in past episodes, whatnot, but this week was the prime example of Attitude Era style blending in with the social media era. The finish to the show, which we'll obviously talk about in our main event of our show, but then the lead up to it, the connecting parts, how you're just having random big names square off against each other instead of going off into more intense, deeper feuds or even a championship opportunity. It's building. It's building towards a big payoff, which I think will happen around Thanksgiving. So
I think the thing that I like the most, I think, is the continuing like the theme throughout the show, like if there's like a certain thing happening, like it's not just when they're on screen in the ring. It's like, no, there's stuff going on backstage and like interviews or just like moments backstage that it's all connected throughout the entire 3 hours, which is kind of nice because I think there's so many different moving parts in the same storylines right now. So it is kind of nice to see them connected throughout the show. And it's not just like, okay, we're waiting for the 5 minutes of so-and-so to be on screen and that's it. Like then, okay, we're moving on. It's like, no, everything's connected. So it's kind of nice.
It is kind of nice. I like when things connect because there's a road, there's a path you can follow and things can start to make sense. So Sarah, let's see what this banner is. What do we got first?
Cody Rhodes kicks off Raw again.
Yes, he did.
And he didn't get interrupted this time before. I mean,
you got a little bit of time in there.
Well, before completing a sentence, he was kind of talking about Jay, but it wasn't really about why he brought Jay to Raw or like got involved in that. So we're still kind of waiting for that explanation, I guess. But he did remind us that there is a trade in the works. So they're not giving up on that angle yet, which we kind of thought, like,
WWE we did give
of old. So they're just going to be like, what? We never said trade. What?
You just on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So Cody does say that him and Jay are not best friends, but this is where it got interesting. He said, but maybe there are other reasons. Maybe there's more reasons to why I wanted him over here, but he doesn't explain that. And I think that still could be that he's going to SmackDown. And obviously it's one less person in the bloodline, as they said. So if Cody's trying to get another shot at Roman, that's one less person that's trying to prevent him from completing the story.
Yes. It's just starting to clear up a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, we don't know why, like, what his intentions are with the whole thing, but we
Mhm.
know there's more. For a while, it was just us saying, "Oh, they're probably gonna forget about it or whatnot." This was a moment that they went out and said, "We're doing this, all right?
Mhm.
We did not forget about it." And that's what I love now is that you're actually getting long-term storytelling. You know, it's not just thrown together works with, you know, a couple guys for a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and then it's over, ending up in a payoff with a championship match or whatnot. Like, there's actual substance to these feuds, even if right now it seems like, what the hell are they doing? You know, they got KO and Sammy with Cody and
Yeah.
Jay, and that makes no sense. Things have to not make sense before they can make sense.
All right.
Sarah.
I mean, I don't know if I buy into all of that, but you are Mr. Positive, so I'm not gonna
Well,
disagree.
I just try to be. You
I
know,
know.
it's all we can be.
So Cody
Definitely.
does say after that he helped Jay last week, not just because it's Jay and he's trying to help Jay specifically, but he said it was more about stopping Judgment Day than anything else. And that's when Judgment Day is like, "Oh, all right, we're following that rule. You mentioned us, so here we are."
They
They
did. They
take
did abide by the rule.
Yeah, and so they take issue with what he was saying. Obviously, Damien says that Jay made his decision on joining the Judgment Day last week, and Cody just had to get involved. Dominic tries to talk, obviously can't. And Cody plays into it to be like, "Huh, what'd you say?" Ha ha ha.
It
You know, and
was
I'm just like,
so good. I love how they continually boo the shit out of him.
I still wonder because people think they're piping in booze. I don't know if they're piping in booze more than I think they're lowering the volume on Dom's mic. That's what I think they're doing. Because, and I'm not mad at that because I understand the point of what they're doing, but people take issue with them piping in booze. I'm like, I don't have an issue necessarily with that, but I don't think that's what's happening. I
It's
think
not. I'll
by
tell you right
turning
now,
the
it's not.
volume down on his mic makes it feel like it is louder, you know? So like that's my opinion. I think that's what they're doing. But
They're making it feel like you're there because
yeah.
that's what it sounds like when he's there. As someone who has been there for a Dirty Dom promo where you boo the utter shit out of him,
Mhm.
and it's all muffled. You don't know what he says, and when you watch it from the comfort of your own home and he actually does speak, you can hear him, you can hear what he's trying to say, but it's just the background noise is booze.
Well, and I think I mean, even recently though, like the boos have been so loud that you can't there's been times where you literally like can't hear what he's saying. Like you almost have to be a lip reader and just like try and focus
Yeah.
on his mouth, and they don't keep it on him because they want to
Oh, they
you
want
know,
they
show
want
you the boos basically.
yeah.
So yeah, I do think they're just turning the volume down on his mic, and I love that because it's just like playing this up more, and you should, because like there aren't really anyone else in WWE right now that is getting that type of reaction. So if you take advantage of the moment, turn his mic down a little bit,
Yeah.
and you know, like I don't see it as a problem. But
He's the
anyway,
biggest heel in wrestling. There's
yeah.
only, I think, one other person realistically I think is a bigger heel, and it's Don Callis in AEW.
Mm.
He's
Yeah, there's
like
no one else in WWE, that's for sure.
I don't
Um
I'll try to think of one as we go on, but it's gonna be hard.
so as I said, Cody was kind of trying to play into it, and then of course he has to bring up Rhea and says like, "Oh, so what's gonna happen with Rhea?" Or, well, he says, "Mommy," when
I
she comes
love
back.
when yeah. Yeah.
And you guys don't have the gold anymore because both the tag team titles were on the line and the NXT North American Championship are on the line. So Dom gets pissed that he brings up Rhea, and I'm just like, that's right. He's like, keep mommy's name out of your mouth.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. So they then
Love Don Callis.
surround Cody in the ring, which then prompts Jay coming out of nowhere, just being like, "Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here to protect my boy Cody, my Cody,
Yep.
my boy
Yep. There you go.
Cody,
There you go.
my boy Cody," and
Oh, God.
um, they all square up to Judgment Day, and then we see JD McDonough come out, we see KO and Sammy come out, so it's just a big old mess.
Nice 4-on-4
Eventually Priest ends
action.
up being the only guy in the ring, and he gets beaten up, which leads to Damien getting super pissed at JD
Yeah.
McDonough.
Yeah. This
Um,
when Damien, when you think they're retreating, it's a classic heel. We're the top guys. We don't need you. Oh, you got a nice fourth. That's cute. We're gonna retreat. And then you have the pipsqueak who's trying to get in and show he's a fighter. He doesn't know. Like, that's where Damien got pissed. It's like, dude, not
yeah,
the time. We're
you got to
backing
pick and
away.
choose your battles.
Pick and choose your battles, JD. And
Mhm.
to see Damien's reaction on the stage as he's just alone, just, damn it, and just storms to the ring, like that was
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, that
What I
was
thought was funny though is the segment you see later where he barges into the JD locker room and he's just screaming at JD about getting beaten down in the ring. It says like, "You're not part of Judgment Day. You need to leave." So my sister, is around, and so I have my iPad, and she was like, "Who is that? Why are they so mad?" I was like, "It's Damien." She was like, "Oh my god, he sounds like a killer or
sounds
something," and I'm like, "It's
sounds
just because his
pissed.
voice."
He
It's just his
sounds
voice.
pissed.
He sounds hot. What do you mean? So anyway, we see that, but that takes like another little chapter later, which I am excited about because JD, I mean, come on. It's getting we're he's earned his stripes, but we're not there yet.
Uh,
So, do you want to get to comments?
yeah, that's what I'm
All right.
scrolling up to see
All right.
right now. Hey David was popping. The other David was popping. Richard, very good rise. The only thing disappointing was that Nia Jax segment. You can hear awkwardness in her promos and see the ring rust.
We'll
Oh boy, howdy. We
we'll
will
get
talk
there.
about that because
Mhm.
I'm not going to waste my breath on that when we have a lot to go over because we have already touched upon that. I think Jay costing the match. KO gets mad at Sammy for being traded Raw, ruining all their momentum. KO volunteers to trade himself to SmackDown, messing up Cody's plan. That's interesting.
I'm
That is
assuming
definitely
he's talking about War Games.
War Games.
Yeah.
I'm
Or Survivor,
so
whatever it is. I don't know if it's going to be War
you
Games,
got to
but
make it War
I feel like
Games,
you have to. You
right?
can't tease War Games 1 year and then not keep doing it.
Well, if you're gonna have a gimmick pay per view, like a Hell in a Cell or Money in the Bank, or keep like the way to keep Money in the Bank. I mean, that's different, whatever. But you need to have like something attached to it because Survivor Series, the whole element of 4-on-4 classic tag team wrestling is just not it anymore. It's not okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Putting 4v4 got in a two rings cage. I've seen it twice now for two different brands. It is fucking electric and needs to be done in every promotion. So sorry, tangent there. But fan videos show that Dom's boos are genuine. You damn right they are.
That's why I think it's the mic.
It
It's not the
absolutely has
booze.
to be the
And
mic.
that's going to make it cuz then if anything they can also turn up like the exterior volume too. You know what I mean? So then
Yeah,
we can hear it because at home the boos don't sound as loud as they actually are when you're there in person.
yeah.
So turning his mic down, maybe turning up the exterior just for that moment, cuz they know that Dom's going to talk. So that just makes everything seem louder.
Vinny is here was popping. He said he can't wait to go boo either. It's Vinny. It's so fun. It's one of my favorite things about going to a wrestling show is they want you to be as loud and reckless as possible. It's some of my favorite things to do. Blood and guts. Yes, I've been to war games and blood and guts in a like year span. I'm pretty fucking lucky. I can't complain. There. JD will be a judgment day soon. Oh, interesting. So yeah, that's all I got really for comments. Move on. Great.
All right. So then we see Tegan Knox talking to Becky Lynch. Becky says, "Hey, how come you didn't accept my challenge last week?" And Tegan says, "Well, she was ready to go, but Natty kind of beat her to it and she just let her go. But she did let Becky know, "Hey, I actually I want to have a match with you after you win at No Mercy." So that seemed like, oh, okay. But then when Tegan is talking about it with Adam Pierce, Natalia rolls up and is just like, actually, I want my rematch and you just need to wait in line. So they just go back and forth, get a little bit sassy. And then Adam's just like, how about you guys just like settle this in the ring and whoever wins becomes the number one contender? And it's like, okay. So they
Yeah,
go
I
out.
just have one thing about. I mean, I get if you're just having Natty come in to say that she wants a rematch to lead up to this match, this banner in front of us. Fine, it's just a vehicle, okay, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, you lost. All right, you don't lose and then be like, I
Well,
want a rematch. It's like,
Well, but you also,
what?
I kind of don't really understand how you can say you want a rematch when you weren't the number one contender. You answered a
It was
challenge.
an open
Like
challenge.
when John Cena had the US title open challenge every week, he wasn't having people demanding rematches. It's like, no,
Yeah,
you accepted his challenge. You then lost. Like that doesn't then put you at the top of the totem pole to get a rematch. I think
yeah.
that this was just their way of like I don't know, maybe getting Tegan back in it since she was supposed to allegedly be the girl to face Becky last week and then they changed it to Natalia. I don't know if this was just their way of like getting Tegan in but not ignoring Natalia. I don't know, but like sometimes these are just such boneheaded decisions that I'm like, how are there so many people on the creative team and none of you sat there and were like, maybe this doesn't really make that much sense, you know?
They
But
gotta make Natalia. The only it felt like it was two faces going at it, and
mhm.
Natalia being a face, like she's better as a heel, in my opinion. I think Natalia's a way better heel,
Mhm.
and I honestly thought we were gonna go heel veteran. It's my time. I did all this. Boom. All right, then yeah, it makes sense for her to demand the rematch. It's her world. But then to have her come out and then do the Bret Hart sunglasses with the
Yeah.
kid, I was like,
Yeah.
then what are we? Then who?
I
Where are
know.
you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. So Becky does come out to sit at the commentary desk for the match. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to this, really. It was just good to see Tegan back on TV, especially like I said, she was supposed to, at least we thought, to be the one to face Becky last week. She does end up winning.
Yes,
So we
yeah,
will
you
be
know.
seeing her versus Becky. But then I was thinking, I'm like, did they kind of like inadvertently give away that Becky is going to win at No Mercy? But I don't see that happening. I don't see her beating Tiffany.
Sarah. Sarah,
What?
I have
What?
a nice little theory
All right.
that you're right. Becky is not going to win at No Mercy
Oopsie.
because someone's going to interfere in that match. There's no DQ.
It's
So
not
if
going to
the
be
person,
Jade. So
it
stop.
is definitely going to be Jade Cargill, and that starts
I
her first
told
feud on
you
Raw. That is
everything was everything. Why would she have a feud on? You mean? Oh, she would be facing Becky on Raw.
Becky is on Raw. Jade
Hmm.
is not going to NXT.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that could work. Oh my God. How would I pick?
There you go. That's
How
the
would I
best
pick?
way to introduce her. You know what? Thank you.
Well,
Hats
yeah,
off.
because I mean, if they're going to
Thank
introduce her as
you.
a heel, I mean, she can't go against Rhea. But that's the thing that's kind of funny about it when they like put all this promotional stuff out about her, and it's like get excited because Jade Cargill's here, and then she debuts as a heel. I just always think that's kind of funny because they want you to be excited that she's there, and it's like oh my God, and
And it's
then
a different
she
type
comes
of
back and it's
excitement.
like now you need to boo her. That's what we want. We want you to boo her.
I am the baddest bitch. Like that,
But
she's going with that mentality, and you need to boo that mentality.
yeah, I mean, I think that it's possible that this could happen. Because from what they were saying, they didn't plan on Jade going to NXT. That they were thinking that she was going to go on the main roster. So if that's the case, then that would make sense. Um, but it'll be interesting, especially if she has any say, maybe, in who she wants to face first, or if they already have plans for her. Because if they want her like versus Bianca, then she needs to go to SmackDown. Maybe she'll be a free agent. Maybe that'll be a thing where she's like, I want to be a free agent, so I want to go and face anybody that I want.
I am. Yeah, I could.
And
I could
then,
see absolutely her being a free agent for the first like
yeah,
time that she's here,
yeah,
leading up
maybe
to it.
even until the next draft at least,
Yeah, like
because
WrestleMania.
then it doesn't limit her. They're not limited creatively with her either, because I think that's kind of the problem, as we've said with Rhea,
It
that
is.
they put her on Raw, so it's really limiting. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that, because you want to bring her in and have her have a strong run. You don't want to just bring her in and be like, okay, well, we're gonna put her on Raw, and I mean, I guess she can go after Becky, and then what happens after that? I don't know, because it's like she can't go against Rhea if she's going to be a heel, but then like, she couldn't go against Io on SmackDown either.
If you make
But
her a free agent
yeah,
and
I
make
like
her
that.
an attraction,
Yeah,
it brings more eyes to your product.
yeah,
By
I think
putting her
that's
in one show right now, it's really pigeonholing the other.
yeah. I know. I think that's a good idea. I also love that she said that her friendship with Cody was influential in her decision to come to WWE. And I told you that's going to happen. That's going to happen more with people like Ricky Starks. And I mean, people are even saying MJF, but I don't think MJF's
Oh,
coming.
shut MJ. MJF is
But
becoming the poster boy of
I
AEW
know,
before our eyes.
I know,
It's a
but
good
like a
thing.
guy like Ricky Starks, like, yeah,
He
that
definitely
could
would
happen. But
thrive in WWE. He absolutely would thrive. He's being wasted on Collision. That's the Bang Bang Gang show.
all
I'm
right.
obsessed with Jay White. I'm obsessed with Bullet
Mm,
Club Gold. Like, they
well, yeah,
might be my new favorite faction.
that's
Juice
same.
Robinson, I'm sorry. I can't. If I start talking about them,
All right.
I'm gonna go nuts.
Um.
I did want to put this up though, because this is a
Okay.
fantasy dream
No,
match ready to
that's
happen. I
not a
think
dream match.
that is a WrestleMania main event
Stop.
just waiting to be written.
Stop
Okay.
it. All right. Let's just stop. Okay. Then we
And
have Ludwig Kaiser versus Tommaso Ciampa. Kaiser did come out with Giovanni Vinci, and who just lost to Ciampa last week. So this was Ciampa's attempt again. If he got a win over the other member of Imperium, then he was like, all right, well, I've done what I had to do, so I want to face Gunther. So this match was just, Vinci gets
how you
involved
doing?
and attempts to help, but it actually does the complete opposite, and it helps Ciampa win. And then at the end, Ciampa calls out Gunther, obviously, because now that he has beaten Kaiser and Vinci in back-to-back weeks, he's like, all right, well, I want to come for the IC title. And it looks like that's what we're going to get. And I am so excited about that match. I would love for it to be at Fastlane. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it deserves to.
It has to.
They didn't have the title on the last show. So,
Sorry, if they're doing a contract signing on a Raw for a match that's going to take place on Raw, I'm going to lose my shit. That
oh,
is
yeah.
the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Just have the match on Raw the next week. What are we wasting a contract signing for? You do that to build up a pay per view. So this has to be a fast lane, which
It
makes me
has
want to
to.
tune into the pay per view even more. So well done.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about this match. I think Champa is a great opponent that should lose, but I still think like
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose, but it's
he
gonna be a
wasn't even a
banger of a
name that
match.
we really even just considered. I think when we were like, okay, who does he face next? It was just like, but that's also because Champa's just been thrown on TV the last couple weeks, which is nice. But I mean, he hadn't been like a consistent guy, so I'm glad to see that. And obviously, I mean, he's proven that he can take on anyone. Dude almost did lift up Bronson
He
Reed. I
did.
mean,
That was impressive.
I'm blown away.
Very impressive.
But some of the badness that came out of this match was there's more drama with Imperium. So Kaiser was visibly pissed at Vinci, obviously. And we see more of that later in the show backstage when Gunther is just berating Vinci in German. And then Kaiser shows up and then he starts to get it. But then Kaiser is like, I only lost because Vinci got involved, which again, Vinci doesn't even say anything. And I'm just like, oh my god, like he doesn't even defend himself. He's like what, like he looked like he was about to say something, and then they were like telling him, "No, you can't talk." I'm like, "What the is happening?" So then Gunther is just like, "All right, whatever," and sums up the entire thing. It's like, "All right, well, you are now Vinci's babysitter. So everything that Vinci does." And however it impacts your Imperium, that's on you. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? That's what I want to understand. What is
Um,
happening?
okay, so let me put you at ease here, Sarah, because seen a lot of similarities between this and the Bloodline. Crazy, I know.
Mm,
Remember when Jay was just popping off and just he was a hothead, and Roman was like, "You need to control your brother," and he ended up being Sammy's responsibility. Well, look what happened that came out of that. Okay, brotherhood, friendship, amigo. Okay, in another language. I'm bilingual. So what I see from this, jokes aside, is that this little B story to Imperium with Ludwig and Vinci is going to be them working out their, issues. Because let's face it, Vinci has to put out on screen that he's visibly upset. Ludwig is getting all this attention, and Ludwig is the second guy. Why not Vinci?
I know
That needs
Kaiser. He has his own T-shirt.
his own T-shirt. You can play it to that. Literally use that as a detail, and it promotes the shop. So if you have Vinci start in that way and really letting out his emotion of frustration within Imperium, how he feels like he's just the blame guy, the scapegoat. Now you get something here where then you can make Imperium into this dominant trio, tag team champs eventually, because they're grinding it together. You're getting to see them flush out their, the stuff you couldn't see really. It's all coming together, and we're finally getting the the first glimpse of it.
I just thought of another scenario that they could do. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it would work, but I'm just, this is just a random thought. So, another direction could be obviously Kaiser has been trying to make things a lot about himself, like he's has his own t-shirt. He's doing a lot of singles matches and like leaving Vinci behind. Maybe Gunther can make it feel like he's trying to upstage him. Like he needs to know his place. Like Kaiser, no, Imperium's about me. You guys are here to help me. Like this isn't about you. You're not the star. It's me. So if anything, it would be kind of interesting to see Kaiser kind of want to break off, like if they're going to break up Imperium. I'm just saying at some point, it would be kind of interesting. Like, what if Kaiser is the one that dethrones Gunther?
That could have been in the plans.
Yeah,
However,
I
uh,
just it's just a
with I
hypothetical.
know it's a great thought, Sarah. That is a great thought. I'm not saying it isn't. Oh, main event pro. Um, it's a good thought, but Gable is so over.
I know. But anyway, yeah, no, I think they need to figure something out, and if they do it like that, the bloodline, then that's fine. I just I think I mean I've seen other people saying that it's a shame that Vinci is being booked this way because
Yeah.
like he was way better than this in NXT, and I loved watching him in NXT when he was doing his own little thing where he was just like the hot Italian. And so it's just a shame that now they're not allowing him to do that. So,
We got a
um,
super chat from Main
woohoo!
Event Pro.
Thank
Salute to the
you.
champ and
Thank you so
finish
much.
into Sarah. Thank you so much, Main Event Pro. We really
Hey yo.
appreciate all of
Hey
it. Hey
yo.
yo, to you too, and we love all the support from everyone in here. Love the comments. Let me get to them now. I'm trying to go in order. It's kind of tough.
Okay.
War Dog, Wardlow in WWE would definitely be interesting. However, I think he's an elite guy. He just hasn't been used yet. There just hasn't been a
there's just certain people that you can tell like they'll like the likelihood of them jumping ship, it's probably not going to happen. And that's like what I feel with MJF. I just don't see any reason for him to do that because I don't watch AEW. So like I don't even know who you're talking about right now. But I know
Whoa.
who MJF is. You know what I mean? Like I think that if you are somebody who is not necessarily anti AEW, but you don't watch, you just watch WWE, like me or whatever. Um, Even if you're a casual viewer, you probably know who MJF is. So it seems like it would be kind of walking backwards for him because he can't compete. I mean, I'm not saying he can't, but you're going to go to WWE and think that you're going to be a bigger star than Roman Reigns, Cody, Seth Rollins. Like, that's so many people for you to try and compete with to be at that top level right away. I mean,
MJF or
yes, I'm saying like it's a lot more competitive, I think, in WWE to try and be the face of the company. And the way that he speaks and the way that, you know, he's very controversial, they won't let you do that in WWE. And if that's the direction that you want to go in because it's worked so well for you, stay where you're at and keep going. If that ends up not working eventually, then maybe you could try your hand at WWE because of the money, the
yeah,
exposure,
yeah, get
whatever. But
yeah,
like,
not right now, not in your
yeah, not right
prime.
now. He's not
You
even
kidding me?
30. Is he 30?
He's
Like,
younger than
yeah.
me.
Yeah, so it's like he's got plenty of time. I just think that ride the wave as long as you can. Don't just jump ship for the sake of jumping ship. There's no reason to, you know.
All I'm gonna say is that MJF and Adam Cole next to the Bloodline have the best story in wrestling right now. Uh, God, it is so entertaining. It's so good, and the fact that they're Ring of Honor tag team champions going up
Mm.
against the Righteous, who, if anyone doesn't know, and I didn't really know anything about them either. I don't want to. I'm not a know-it-all. I just watched a clip on them, did some research. Um, they're very psychological. They're very wide family esque. Okay, especially going to throw them at Adam Cole and MJF right now with
Mhm.
the psychological stuff going on and like, well done. That's I just all I can say is well done, and it is. I'm not gonna say rivaling the Bloodline, but it's up there in entertainment value for sure, for sure. MJF is 27 years old. Yep, that is my age as well.
That's younger than
Um,
me. So,
if MJF goes there, what is the ceiling? I mean, like Roman Reigns, like he's
I I think it's hard to say, really, only because he is so young and he's not even necessarily at his prime yet.
he's
You
not
know, like this
right now.
could be considered his prime just given how like, you know, quickly he ascended to this position. Sorry, I hit my desk. Um, but I mean, in wrestling, like he could go for another 15 years potentially. I mean, you know, like who's to say that this is the best work he's ever done? And yeah, I think with WWE, it just depends on when he came in and who were the guys and how they were going to use him. I think that's the biggest concern I would have with him coming to WWE is just
Yeah,
how they would use him. I think that would be his concern too, because like he doesn't really have to worry about that in AEW because he is like basically the top one of the top guys. And that wouldn't be the case right away necessarily in WWE because they just have so many dudes at the top right now.
there's so many
But
groups of
he could be at the top, but he isn't someone that would be like Cody Rhodes returning and being a top guy. Well, Cody has previous experience in WWE, so it's like they're already familiar with him. So
The
I feel
Righteous were almost signed last year to join Bray, but it didn't pan out. So there goes with
mm,
my, um, you know, little report I gave. MJF is the main reason I watch AEW. You and a friend of mine, literally at one point, my friend was only watching AEW to keep up with what MJF was doing. So
mm.
I mean, man knows how to draw an audience. So all right, what's the next topic? We've been talking about some random shit. Yeah,
Seth
let's talk about
Rollins.
our champion, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
So the main thing that I know just took away from this is that basically this was just the same old song and dance that we've been seeing from Seth for the last couple weeks, and to me, it's just seems definitely clear that they're trying to keep him out of the ring. They're trying to make sure he's not wrestling because there's no reason that he just keeps coming out to the ring and calling out Shinsuke every single week, doing the exact same thing, and then Nakamura's on the screen. Like, I'm over it. I'm bored. I really hope that Nakamura wins the title at Fastlane, because
Yes,
nothing against Seth, but I'm bored. I'm
I
bored with your reign
need
right now.
Nakamura to be a world champion
Yes.
so bad. So
So
bad.
Seth's been champion now for 4 months too. So it's not even like, okay, it would be a quick turnaround from
It was a good
introducing.
run. Good
Yeah.
run.
So he just gets in the ring and just talks again about how Shinsuke is dodging him and he needs to accept his challenge now, or he's going to be moving on. And that is when Shinsuke, another video of him, pops up on the screen. Nakamura says that he wants to be the final straw that breaks Seth's back, and that he accepts Seth's challenge, and that it will be a last man standing match at Fastlane. And when I tell you that I popped so big when he said that, I literally was sitting there and I was like, "Oh my god." Like, I am so excited, because that's one of those stipulations that should feel like that, because we don't see it that often.
It
And
was
so
perfect.
it just fits so perfectly, and I'm very excited.
It fits so perfectly to what they're saying about Seth's back.
Mhm.
And
And I don't
I
want you don't want him to stand, like, you want him to need help standing, blah
yes,
blah
you don't want him to
blah.
walk out. Oh,
I want
and
him to be wheeled out in a
he's gonna
wheelchair.
be. I can just picture right now, like the images that we're gonna have, like them on the outside, and whether it's a chair, a kendo stick, or some other foreign object, and he's just whipping his back, in the count. The ref's getting to 7. He's doing the whole like the shake. This oh jeez, I actually shook here, but like that is what you need, because this has been all talk, and as you said, it gets boring when it's just this talk back and forth, especially with one dude via satellite.
Mhm.
So you but the way it's been being, it's still enticing, is because of how Nakamura is doing these vignettes, and how
Mhm.
he's honestly, it's literally like an Asian warrior, like a
Mhm.
older warrior, which that is like, that's the Nakamura I want. I want that killer instinct Nakamura, that I don't care what I have to do, I'm going to be world champion, which we haven't seen that in its
Mhm.
time here a lot. And finally happy it's happening.
Yeah, I just hope that if Nakamura doesn't win, then they need to do something with Seth to make him
Cash in.
interesting.
Boom.
Yeah, it needs to something
There's your
has to
cash
happen.
in.
Yeah, because at this point, like, I mean, and I'm a big Seth fan. He's one of my all-time favorites, but I can't not, like, call it out when it's just not interesting, and it's just not interesting right now. So if he does retain, I'm sure the match will be great, but
Oh, it
he
is. Yeah.
something has to happen with his reign, or something, like, whether he is cashed in on or if he's not, something has to happen, because I don't like I don't enjoy feeling this way about both of the leading champions in the company. You know what I mean? Like, Roman's not around and the whole point of Seth being champion was to be the complete opposite of Roman as a champion, and then Seth's not, like, doing anything. So,
It's
we'll
Gunther.
see.
They're really
It's because
making
Gunther
Gunther.
is my heavyweight champion. Come on.
He is your intercontinental heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes, he is made
Oh, where I got
champion. So I don't know what anyone's talking about. But then we saw Dom Dom versus Dragon Lee for the NXT North American title. So I'm guessing that this was what was going to happen at No Mercy. But since Mustafa Ali was released, did they just move it to Raw instead of NXT? Or what are we doing? Like, are they going to have this
I
be a
didn't even think of
rematch at
that.
No
Wait, I didn't even
Mercy?
think of that. Wait. Well, NXT's in 10 minutes, so I'll find
I
out.
know. So I guess we'll
But
find out. But
I
I
didn't
think
even
it was
think of
like,
that.
yeah. So I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, we saw the interaction between Dom and Dragon Lee last week. So
Why
that
would
was like
you?
a setup for maybe like after No Mercy. But
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali is out. So that match is off. So does that mean that they just took him off the card completely? Or was this just like, oh, we're going to have
Yeah.
this happen and then it's also going to happen on NXT? I don't know. But regardless, this match was great. And
This is really
I
good.
really think that people are not giving enough credit to Dominic and how far he has come with his in-ring ability, because I mean in general, but especially against a luchador like Dragon Lee, like if you can keep up with a guy that wrestles the way that Dragon Lee does and it's not painful to watch, because you're so green,
Yeah,
like then you're doing something right. So I thought this was like it could have been the match of the night. Like
I
it
thought
was,
it. Yeah,
yeah, it
it
was good.
it was very good. I like the fast paced lucha style too. It's one of those things that if you're not Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio, it kind of gets overlooked with who you are. But when you have the Mysterio name attached to you, it helps. And Dom is kind of evolving that style with his own, and we're still seeing him kind of figure out his own style in a way. But this match against Dragon Lee was like, all right, this legitimized Dom as he can go against anyone within his division, and he's like a legit champion. I'm shocked at how far they've taken this Dirty Dom as NXT champion
Me
and
too.
have it not be painful and agonizing to just watch him. Oh, he's just strutting out. Him and mommy,
Mhm.
like, no, he's putting on bangers of matches.
Yeah. I also wonder what this means for Dragon Lee. Like, do you think that this might mean is he going to be on the main roster, or again was this just a one
Go to
off to like
NXT.
put
Go to
NXT?
NXT. I
But
say
still,
that in the
I'm
most
excited.
nice way possible.
I'm excited.
I don't want you to be like Tozawa, who you're only getting on screen when
Right.
people angrily walk by you. Like
Yeah.
you're crushing NXT. Go do your thing there with Axiom, maybe even
He's
Wesley. Do
oh
another
my god,
program with
so
him.
good.
Axiom's filthy.
I know. Oh my god,
So
I'm so
just do
excited.
that, okay? I don't want you to get lost in the Raw shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. And then we got Nia Jax is in the ring, interviewed by Mr. Michael Cole. She has a new song, so
That's the.
yeah, I know. So you were crying
I'm
about it.
so pissed.
So
I'm so pissed, Sarah.
Cole just gets to right into it and is just asking her why she's been attacking basically everyone in the women's division. And Nia is just so awkward, and she's just like,
Squash.
because I am the baddest human in WWE. I was like, what human? Well, are there non-humans? Are there lizard people in the back?
I mean, I don't know what an axiom is, so
I'm confused. But
I'm just saying.
yeah, and then she goes into
What
about
is a
how
Valhalla?
I don't know. She was weird last night. But anyway,
What
she
is
goes
a
into about how she is the baddest human. And why is she the baddest human? Because she has squashed everyone, literally. And then she goes into detail about all of the women that she's actually physically squashed. And then Zoe takes issue with that, and she was like, "You know what, bitch? Why don't you say all that all in the ring when I'm not out here? But why don't you say it to my face?" And things
let's
get heated.
let's take a look at that adjective. Squash.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, no, there you
she
go.
she kept saying squashed, and I was like, "Okay, we get it. We get it. Like you get it." So then this leads to Zoe versus Naya. The match was fine. It
Oh
was
my
whatever. It served its
God, be kidding me.
purpose, I guess. Looks
Yeah.
like we're not really going to be getting anything new out of Naya. She's just going to be the big girl in the division that basically uses that to her advantage. As she once again squashed Zoe. But
Stop
one
saying squash.
sorry. My mom bought some squash actually the other day.
I just have an image of Nia Jax just
Well, yeah.
taking every
Well,
woman in the division. I can't get it
that's
out of my head.
that's what she said she was doing. So, but anyway, then interestingly, I didn't mention this to you, so I want to get your thoughts on this.
Oh, cool.
So,
Serious.
based on how she talked, saying she's the
Mhm.
baddest person, like she's just taking over the locker room, whatever. It kind of I mean, I feel like this is how they had to bring her back and how they had to present her because of how people feel about her. The fans, the most of them don't care about her. They were not happy about her return. It almost feels like to me the way they're trying to go in this direction with her feels like what they would have tried to do with Karma when Karma came around, and then it just didn't work because she got pregnant. So,
His
but the
life,
way,
you know,
yeah, I mean, I'm happy for her, but I just mean like the talk about the bad timing.
it's
You know what I
terrible
mean? Like you
timing.
just
Timing
debut and
is
then you're like,
everything.
I'm pregnant, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like
But
that's.
it works with
But
Karma though. Like it doesn't
well,
work with Nia Jax.
but I just mean the way that they had, like presented her as being like, okay, this big girl, she's gonna dominate everybody because she's strong and she's bigger than everybody, and like you're supposed to fear her. It feels like that's kind of what they're trying to do with Naya. It doesn't have the same feel, obviously, because they kind of went with more of a crazy angle
No,
with
they
Karma,
went, yeah,
obviously,
so different, but I get what you mean.
but it
I
feels
yeah,
like this is Naya's version
but
of
it's
that, or at least
terrible.
so far, which I don't know how well that's going to work
I
because
don't
again, um Naya obviously doesn't get the same reaction as Awesome Kong. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she
she was
came in and she was
sick
Karma,
as
but
Awesome Kong.
people knew who Awesome Kong was.
Awesome, I
So
was afraid of Oz. Still am, low
Karma's
key.
Karma's
Karma,
music scared
Awesome
me.
Kong. But one thing with Nia Jax that I was rewatching it today, and it kind of strains my point about how this is just she's so unserious.
Yeah.
Even with now, her music is very peppy
It's
face.
so
Where it's
it,
like she's not like most, like it's a rap, like I can't even
it's
think of it right now because
I
all I
couldn't even
have is
hear
Nia
it.
Jax
Y-
squashing
Yeah,
women.
I
That's all I
couldn't
have
even
in my
hear it.
head. Um, but it's not intimidating, is what it
No.
comes down to. Is
Yeah.
it's not intimidating, and for her to be this awesome Kong figure where you want to just have her wreck everyone and leave, you can't ever come out to the music she did. Plus, you
Yeah.
can't have her just come out and be like, "Well, I'm the baddest. I'm the baddest human." Like, no, like you gotta have substance. You've been here for so long. You should get better. You shouldn't just revert back to the standard cookie cutter big person. I squash you, win match, raw promo. Like it's
Well, and
this is where yeah.
why not use her release as part of her story? You know what I mean? Why not use the fact that you were like unexpectedly fired, basically? And you could even say, like, none of you even cared, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Oh my
use it
god, there's
to,
so many ways.
you
Yes.
could use that to explain why she came back and just attacked everybody. You got these opportunities that I should have. Like, it can still be heel like you can understand why she was upset about being fired, but she can also put the WWE slant on it, like Rhea shouldn't be the champion, I should have been the champ, whatever. Like, that would make more sense than her just coming in and being like, I squashed everybody. Like, okay, girl, like, do your
You did.
thing.
You
Like,
did. I saw it.
all right. Yeah,
I looked
exactly.
away,
So
but I saw it.
they should have just, yeah, I mean, there's still potential.
Oh, I
Um,
so
but
want to
yeah,
see
I
those
just
scenes right now.
wasn't swayed at all
Whew.
from this. Like, I still very much feel like I don't understand why they brought her back,
Neither
basically.
do I.
So,
Neither do
all right, are you getting into some comments or no?
I. I like that booking, Sarah. Great job by Micah.
What
People
booking?
cared where
Oh,
what
what
you
I was
just
just
said.
talking
Yeah,
about. Oh,
where you
okay.
literally were just talking about. People care when I got released. They all rejoiced. I mean,
No, that is true. Same thing with
they
Matt Riddle.
oh, that was a great day for you.
That was the best day. No, I'm just kidding.
Shitty injuries,
That
man.
was the best day of my life. No,
I just want an excuse to just put that up there.
no.
Well, we're talking Anthony Bowens, so
Did we talk about him?
we alluded to it in the Nia Jackson, I think. Why else would he just put scissor me?
Maybe when I
I
was saying squash me, and you were saying,
oh,
I don't know.
squash
I'm like, I
scissor. They
did not
both start with
mention
S.
him. Okay.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I'm just trying to think of things. I'm trying. All these are really about Nia. A lot.
Richard is accurate though. She fixed her bonsai drop. Yeah, probably because she really did injure. I think she really did injure Rhea. I think that's the problem. We also haven't seen Raquel. I mean, it could be just like, oh, we need to have them off TV, but there's no reason to have the women's champion off. And I think that she possibly did actually injure Rhea. So if I were them, I'd be like, you need to fix this because it's not difficult to hold onto the ropes the entire time that you're doing that. And instead, you literally wanted to squash them, and you might have squashed her ribs. And now what? That's why I told you she fixed it, because those girls were the spot she wants. She doesn't care, she doesn't try to injure the other girls because they're not in a spot that she wants. I just would wonder.
There's a lot of Charlotte Flair in there.
Well, remember they got into that actual fight. Remember? I just watched it again the other day. You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember when they were actually punching each other in the ring? Like they were legitimately.
Maybe I'd have to see it again.
Yeah, no, like I just watched it. I can maybe send it to you, but no, like it depends on who you listen to. But Nia said something like Charlotte was off, and like they started to like legitimately punch each other. Like it wasn't fake, and like they were legitimately trying to hurt each other. But of course, Nia acts like the victim, and I don't even like either of them, so I can't defend them one way or the other. But
blaming.
But whatever. Anyway, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they are interviewed backstage, and it seems like maybe they kind of cleared things up about what's going on with Jay. So Kevin, of course, is asked like, "Hey, earlier you went out and was like trying to help Jay, who is getting set up to be attacked by the Judgment Day again. What's up with that? We thought you hated him." And KO is like, it wasn't really about Jay. I still don't trust him. He hasn't proven himself. Just because he decided that he wasn't joining Judgment Day last week, it doesn't mean that he won't change his mind at some point. And like what Cody said, he said that it basically just came down to Judgment Day and we want to take them down. And then Sami goes on like a KO rant about how it's always been about the two of them and blah, 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 and that they are going to win their tag titles back. But I thought I'd like to see the passion from Sami, and that he didn't really like hang on to the things that KO was saying about Jay, that he just made it about him and Kevin and their rise to the top together, getting the titles and then trying to get them back. So I was glad about that. And then we see Jay respond to all the hoopla. I had to say hoopla because
hoopla.
So because he's still being questioned about his intentions, he said he will not be joining any groups, any emo bands, and especially not Judgment Day. He says that Cody took a chance on him, so he's not just going to like turn his back on Cody, because Cody's basically one of the only ones who did take a chance. And he said, me and Kevin have our beef. It is what it is, but Sami is my dog. And he says that he will keep an eye on Judgment Day, and if they make any funny moves, it's gonna go down. So I enjoy that he kind of addressed kind of what I was saying that I had an issue with, was like him just brushing off the idea of people having an issue with him. Like I kind of like that he addressed it a little bit with Kevin, just being like, okay, we have beef, but like it is what it is, whatever. But like it's not exactly him just ignoring it or acting like that he has no reason to have a trust problem. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I appreciated that aspect at least. I feel like we got a little bit more clarity on Miz TV though.
We did.
Before I move on to that, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
No, I want to add because
okay. So then we had Miz TV with Big D and Massive Miz.
This was
so awesome. Miz just says that Drew should take all of his frustration in his match later with Kofi Kingston and speak about it on Miz TV. So Drew comes out and Miz commends him for watching Judgment Day beat up Jay, and he says he would have done the same thing. Drew very quickly is like, we are nothing alike, but Miz actually points out how they are alike, and then you can see that even Drew is like, all right, that's fair. Like he was like, I'm not gonna argue with that, I guess. Miz brings up what happened at Clash at the Castle to remind everybody why Drew has an issue with the Bloodline and with Jay. Classic. And Drew says karma is a bitch. And then Miz kind of gets into like insulting Drew, kind of, which I thought was like, oh, all right, Miz, that's kind of ballsy. But then the New Day, they come out, and this is where I liked. This is what I needed. This is the clarity I needed. I still need Jay to do a little bit better of a job with this, but I liked that they added this in there because the New Day come out and say that Drew is not known to be a coward, but he certainly looked like one last week when he just watched Jay get jumped. Says that they were always cool with Big D, but
This was awesome. I love when they call him Big
showed
D.
some shrinkage. And he said, and then they asked, "Hey, are you just scared because your sword has gotten too limp?" I was like, "Oh my god, it's too early in the night for this, guys." So,
Yeah, it was a little.
Drew talks about, like you're sitting here talking about how great Cody is. Well, the only reason why he came out to help Jay was because he needed to clean up his own mess. He's the reason why Jay is here. He's the reason why Jay is having to deal with all of this, and it's because he's on Raw. Drew then reminds everybody of everything that the Bloodline has done to all of them, including Xavier and Kofi over the years, and obviously wants to remind them that even if you want to, move on from whatever the Bloodline has done, you have to remember that Jay was a part of all of it. And then they said, which I think I even tweeted about, I think it was Kofi was like, but he's trying to right his wrongs, or he's like trying to make things better. And I'm like, but how is he doing that? So I like that Drew was
okay.
bringing this up, but I'm like, but what exactly have we seen Jay doing to right his wrongs? Like, is he going up to the people that he massively screwed over and saying that he's sorry that he got caught up in what the family was doing? He was just trying to protect his family, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not seeing that. So that's another thing that I'm like, I'm so on Drew's side in this because like, I feel like someone shows you who they are and you should believe them, So like, I understand it's wrestling. That's not the real
No,
world.
I know what you mean.
But I can understand why guys like Drew would be hesitant to just like jump on the Jay bandwagon because they don't know what could happen,
No, they don't. It's I get what he's saying. To me, it's just that the Jay's showing that he's changing by teaming and going against the Judgment Day. It's very like on the surface what he's doing, going up against the bad guy and taking, all that. It's, I like Drew's response if the way Drew is going is going back into being just a brute heel.
We need the Scottish psychopath.
We need him. I need the sword every time, like in a different way.
I love the all black too.
There it is. That's what
so sick. And that's the thing. You're like, oh my god, this guy is so tough. Is he sitting there in a fucking kilt? You know what I mean? Like it's just like kind of ironic. You're like, you're so tough, but he's sitting there in like a black leather skirt, and you're like, yeah, he's so tough. But like, I don't. You know what? This is so interesting and like so off topic, but I don't know. So I was watching somebody who was doing like an F Marry Kill, and with wrestlers, and but they were doing it like by tiers, and they had to do like it came down to Cody and Drew, and it was like, okay, who would you rather be with? And I had to ask my sister. I was like, who would you rather? Because she's obviously like obsessed with Drew McIntyre, but also Cody. And then she's like, I feel like I would have to pick Cody. And I was like, you'd be surprised because I would pick Drew. Does that surprise you?
You would pick Drew? No,
I would pick Drew over Cody. Oh. That's not the only thing. Like, I'm not gonna be like, please be a bear.
No, I'm not asking him to be a bear. I'm just saying, he has
to have the right amount of hair in the right place.
Looks like a beefed up Scottish killer of Razor Ramon in a sense.
Well, I just think it's funny because I mean, I've not been like a fan of Drew nearly as long as I've been a fan of Cody. So it's like automatically like, oh my god, you'd pick Cody. No, weird. I wouldn't. Yeah. I was like, nothing against Cody because Cody's hot too, but I'm like, Drew is a man. Like
that's a man. He chops wood in the forest for a while.
Oh my god, he's like
with the sword.
I don't know how tall he is. 6'2". He's got dark hair. He's hairy. He is
how
a
tall
gigantic.
Is Drew McIntyre?
I'm like, I don't fucking know.
6'5". He's the same height as my the clock tower.
Oh my god. I went out with a guy who was 6'4", and it
Call
was
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is
6'4".
yeah, he was 6'4". I didn't know until I got there, and I was like,
So
oh hello, you're tall. He wasn't hairy though. But anyway, I just thought I just had to share that with you. I know that no one cares, but sometimes I have to show that I am a woman.
please
Here.
do. We love when we express ourselves here.
But anyway, so
It
yeah, I
sounded
said Drew,
sarcastic, but I was dead serious.
but also Drew has a Scottish accent, so why would I be like, yeah, let me just choose the
Accents
American?
Ours accent.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose the American accent.
No.
No.
Fucking
So
Phoebe
Drew,
Bridge.
you know, and it's so funny because back in the day, I thought Drew was so disgusting, but he used to be kind of like ugh, icky.
Well,
So
I mean, look at the chosen one.
yeah, no, thank you. Anyway, so we eventually, I didn't. Oh yeah. Sorry, I saw the comment. I was like, Sarah, it says Sarah Marshall went out with Russell Brand. Yeah, in the movie. But not
Yeah.
in real life. I am 5'5", 5'6", actually. So I'm not like, you know, but
Oh
so that's
shit, you're like my height. I'm 5'9". I take that
I know
back.
you're not 5'9".
I am 5'9".
All right, I thought you told me before you were like 5'7". But anyway,
No, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'9".
Okay, you just
I-
lied. You just said you were 5'8".
I'm 5'8", but I tell myself I'm 5'9" for coffee.
Okay, that's why I said I called you out first, and you're like, no, I'm not. I'm 5'9".
But I'm not 5'7".
That's fine. When we meet in person, I'll test that out. And if you're not much taller than me, then I know you're lying. It doesn't matter to me though. I don't care. So then you put lifts in your shoes before I get there. You come out in men's heels. And
I
like,
am
what?
6'5". You're like, what?
You have platform Spice Girls boots on. You're like, what? I wear these all the time. So we eventually see Kofi Kingston versus Drew McIntyre. I don't have a whole lot to say about this match as I normally do because, you know, depending on who's in the match, there's not a whole lot to say. But this was a good match and I enjoyed it. But were you expecting an interference by Ivar?
Not a shot in hell. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna try and sit here and play big brain. No. This was awesome. I
Yeah.
loved it. I really did like it, but I didn't expect it. And I like it because now we're getting tag team feuds that have nothing to do with the title, but it's about, I mean, injuring. I mean, if he goes back stage and then is like, you know, they're like, why'd you do it?
Yeah.
And it's like he injured. I forget what the other one's
Eric.
name is. Eric. That's easy. Why you injured Eric and you took out one of my guys and all that, and good, like that builds up something, and then that can lead. It's just it legitimized the tag team. Is the easy way to put it. It's, you know, he's doing a friggin' moonsault for God's sakes.
I know.
Mean, in the crowd's loving it. So anybody you can do that, I'm for it.
Well, Anna continues, like, you know, because he attacked Kofi at the end of the match also, and Drew walks away, so like that continues as well, you know, because
that theme. I like that theme.
I am just so ready for heel Drew.
Away.
We've been demanding this for so long, and the Matt Riddle release could not have happened at a better moment, dude. Like, not at all. Like, this is exactly how it needed to happen. And it's funny, if people cared, I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh man, I really wish we could have saw more McGriddle, you know? Like, no. I'm so happy that Drew's getting this, and I'm curious to see like where they try to take him, because obviously he should be going for the world heavyweight title, but it wouldn't make sense for him to go after Shinsuke if Shinsuke wins. Wouldn't it make sense if Damian became champion, like if he cashed in? So it's like, I'm interested, but I just don't want them to make him stagnant again. That's the thing that I get nervous about, you know, because that's what he's been. We don't want that. Yeah. And then we get to the main event, which was Judgment Day versus Sammy and KO for the tag team titles. And I have to tell you, man, for how long this match was, for how crazy this match was, for the fact that it started before the bell even rang. There was so much action and craziness, so many near falls. I actually thought that they were going to maybe take the titles off of Judgment Day last night. Yeah, I got very scared.
Really?
I was so ready to
Interesting.
get mad. I was so ready to be mad. because I
What?
was like,
Really,
they did,
I didn't
but
see
that
it at
means
all.
they made, but they did a good job. I feel to like make people uncomfortable
Oh, they
that
did
are
a great
judgment.
job. Yes,
Yeah,
I would
to
agree. They did a good job.
those of us that are Judgment Day fans, uh, I was uncomfortable. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do it, aren't they? They're gonna do it because like I feel like that was one of their better matchups that they've had over the last like month or two. It just I
Easily.
think because there was so much going on. And I feel like the crowd was like really behind Kevin and Sammy. Not that they haven't been, but I feel like it just felt a little bit more last night.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have been also because it was like Dominic came out and tried to get involved. We see Jay and Cody come out. They try to come to the rescue. JD McDonough comes out
Out of
and then it's like
nowhere.
Damian literally just like whiplashed you earlier, but okay. But this is where I love the Judgment Day storyline because JD comes out and he's just like, trying to help, whatever, but like trying to be like, oh, I'm just like a little mouse. Like, I'm not here. And after Sammy hits the haluva kick on Damien, JD pops up, whacks Sammy in the face with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which then has both Damien and Sammy fall to the ground of the ring, the floor of the ring. Damien rolls
Man.
over, pins him, and retains the title. Then he sees what happened and he's just like staring at JD. And this is like, you need to have this man be a part of your group now, man. Like,
Yeah.
He's now helped you win multiple matches, including title matches.
Yeah. Like
Like,
that was it. That was that look.
it
Like
had
he's
to.
in. He's in. But
Yeah.
do you find it interesting he used the SmackDown one?
I don't know that really meant anything.
Okay.
I just pointed it out because when I saw the pictures of it, I noticed it was the blue strap.
I know people are gonna go crazy and try to be like, well, he used SmackDown, so that could mean that JD and Dom could be the tag teams on
Yeah,
SmackDown. And it's like,
yeah. I don't think it meant
he
anything. I
grabbed the
think
title.
yeah, yeah. I just pointed it out
Whatever
because
one
it was
Sam
something I
Irvin
noticed.
didn't have a
But
good grip on.
yeah, I think that it was just the closest one. He just grabbed whatever.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna like how long are they gonna prolong this? How long are we gonna have to wait until you have JD become an official member? Like what?
so Dom is being interviewed right now on NXT, and he's got a black eye and beat up. This is
Is
awesome.
it legit? Is it legit though?
To me it looks like legit,
Okay.
but
I mean, it's possible. I'm just saying, like, I just am curious if it was makeup or something.
on. Oh, we have a breaking news update on the show. So, and remember how I just mentioned Axiom?
Is he
Well,
facing him at?
the
Is
champ
he?
knows. All right, this is
Oh,
why we know things. And if when I say someone, it's not by accident, apparently, to the world, because we're getting Axiom versus Dragon Lee. Winner takes on Dom Dom at No Mercy.
all
So
right. Well, I
there's
like
your
that. I
breaking
think
news.
that's pretty good. Oh my god, that's gonna be
Didn't I
fire.
say just go back down to NXT and face Axiom?
Something like yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, that was Raw.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Sorry, every time Booker T's in on it now, and I
Mm.
love it. But NXT's on Trick Williams versus Joe Gacy. I'm kind of into that. I'm all right with that. But yeah, Raw was good. Sarah, what do you give it? What do you give Raw overall?
Probably like an 8.5.
I'd go
I'd
with an
say.
8. Yeah, I mean, I already alluded to the Attitude Era finish with everyone coming out and just absolute chaos from ringside. And then for God's sakes, they had a Stone Cold Stunner. Like, I mean,
I just was actually like
a
pleased with a
stunner.
lot of the matches. Like the main event was good. Dom Dom Dragon Lee was really good. Yeah, I don't know. I was entertained, for the most part. There was only a couple moments where I was like, all right, I don't care if I watch this. Um
It was Otis,
mostly
wasn't it?
yeah, and Naya. But I mean, That's it though. If that's the only two things that I can say that I didn't really care about in a show, that's pretty good. In a 3-hour show.
That's really good. That's
Mm-hmm.
really good. Oh, good stuff. And I mean, Jade Cargill is now officially in WWE, which was
my
broken
my new
last
queen.
week. We
My new
may
queen.
have more breaking news like that because it feels like the WWE universe, not only WWE, but the WWE universe and the AEW galaxy. That's true. They call it the galaxy. Apparently, I just love breaking news on Wednesdays into Thursdays. So it seems like Thursday show for us is just gonna be news, and then when not, we got our own little fun things to head, and we got to talk about Nonsense Wrestling Federation. We got to give you that update because we're up to date, low key.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, um, we had my version of SmackDown yesterday. Really good show. Um, can I have a few complaints. If you want to know what they are, go to twitch.tv/ Nonsense Sports Network and hear me rant about our creative team and production staff just really screwing me on commentary. I mean, really just giving me one set of notes and then going full John Mulaney Stefan and just throwing a 12-6 at me and me breaking on camera. So that's fun. And we have a pay-per-view coming up. Sarah, Backlash is our first pay-per-view. It's a combined pay-per-view I'm 90% sure about, so we'll have to make that card. And oh yeah, we got Shenanigans too. That's the next stream up, so I'll give you those updates on Thursday, along with other stuff. In the meantime, go check out the YouTube channel. All right, go check out all our other videos in the archives and shorts. Sarah Marshall, WWE at S Marsh XO, right? Or Sarah Marsh? Sarah
Sarah
Marshall
Marshall
XO.
XO
Sarah Marshall
on
XO
YouTube. Yeah.
on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that button, hit that bell notification to know when we go live. And for all the other social media links, it's in the description down below. So click those, follow us everywhere. Follow us to know when the NWF goes live. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still working on that. My schedule, we're really trying to find a regimented schedule for it, so it can be more consistent. But we got the Nonsense Wrestling Federation, we got the Nonsense Football Federation. There's a lot going on the Twitch channel. Go check that out. That's what I got going on. Sarah, you got the musket fire. You're firing
Mm-hmm.
some muskets over with your own Patriot news. So go
Mm-hmm.
check out Sarah's Patriot stuff at musketfire.com. We got a lot going on, and we're happy to bring you all of it. So thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you on Thursday. Yeah. Yeah.